I always say that I'm easy to please, making up the difference my heart couldn't keep. But in my eyes it was out of my league. Former aspirations, a summon self-reliance. Now I know that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rocksteady. I'm your host, Georgia. My guest today is the elusive Wayne Snow of Howling at the Earth. Wayne is a native of Charlestown, West Virginia. Been in lots of musical acts throughout the years, hosted a bunch of open mics, is now doing music full time. Has a new single coming out April 4th, I believe, right? Wayne, do you want to do your best? When I was writing this intro, I was like, how do I explain Wayne's music? And I was like, maybe I should just let Wayne himself explain it.
I think it's like, so I'm a combination of probably like 3 different bands, or maybe like 4 different bands. It's like, let me do my math real quick. 60% Coheed and Cambria, 20% Weezer / a band called The Pillows, and then the other 20 is like a band called Tiny Moving Parts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where all like the intricacies kind of come in.
Yeah.
So like, like prog rock / a hint of math rock / a lot of alternative. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to define, which I think is cool.
It's funny. We live in we're from like West Virginia, and I feel like we hear a lot of like banjo music and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like I clearly don't play banjo music.
No.
But like I remember I posted like this riff somewhere, and someone was like, it's almost like you're playing a banjo. And I was like, damn it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was like, can't get away.
I mean, it's in your blood. Yeah.
It's inside of me.
What's it like, the music scene out there in Charlestown?
In Charlestown?
Yeah. Or Shepherdstown.
Charlestown? I feel like they were, that's not true. When I first started growing up in like high school, I think like 9th grade, there was a place called Jumpin' Java. Yeah, no, that was cool. And every Friday night, they'd actually have some pretty cool bands come down.
Oh, yeah?
I forgot about that. Yeah. Sadly, by the time that like I started playing out, it was gone. But yeah, I guess it was pretty cool, and then like it was a bunch of like, older people playing classic acoustic guitar songs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, that's fine too.
Yeah.
And I think every once in a while, like you'll see like a band, but it's very like on the down low.
For sure.
Yeah. Shepherdstown, it goes up and down. Mm-hmm. I think, the last band I was in, we were playing there a lot with a bunch of other dudes that are playing music in like the Shepherdstown, Martinsburg area. So that had a pretty good run. But then the Opera House closed, and music kind of dwindled a bit. And I think they're trying to have it on the uprise again, but it's a slow burn for sure.
Yeah, I mean the Mecklenburg is really cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we played there back in August. Mm-hmm. That was really cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a really cool spot.
We should do that again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's actually a place that opened up right across the street that's really trying to do music too.
Awesome.
Where Domestic was.
Yeah. Is it Lila's now?
No. I know they closed. Yeah. Now it's some Greek restaurant.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's
that's
really
2
good.
Of my favorite things.
I know, right?
Food and music.
I will chow down on some pita bread.
Dude, yeah. That's my ideal weekend night.
Yeah. So I think music in Shepherdstown, I think that's going to be the place.
Hell yeah.
Soon.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just tell me a little bit about what drew you to music in the first place, and maybe talk a little bit about your musical trajectory.
Oh, I love this. So I don't know. I feel like there's like kind of 2 stories. I remember like distinctly seeing like this, like the 2 things that I never thought I'd be able to do is like skateboard and like play guitar. And I, distinctly seeing, like Tony Hawk naturally. And just always questioning, like, how the hell did they do that? And like my other second big question, my philosophy when I was like 3 years old is like, how do people play guitar? Like,
Yeah.
you know, because I feel like hand coordination was not something that I could conceptualize back then.
Yeah. You were like, I have no
Yeah.
foot coordination. No
Yeah,
hand
right.
coordination.
And it's funny because those are like the two main things that probably like have shaped my life at this
Wow.
point.
Huh.
But I didn't really start playing music until there was like this anime called Fooly Cooly. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
I am not.
It's kind of like one of those, like, you know, like what Adult Swim is.
Yeah.
You know, they would always play like these really random out there things in the middle of the night, and it was probably like 3 a.m. and I was way past my bedtime because I was like 10 years old, and the whole show is like, it's kind of like an ADHD fever dream where like there's like things just kind of being thrown at you and just like happening. But under all that, there is some kind of message that feels like really deep, and it's like a whole thing about like growing up and having these ideas of what it's like to grow and the philosophies we think we should have, and then like what actually happens. And through all that, you know, it's about this kid and like things start coming out of his head because puberty. And but instead of like fighting with like, you know, swords and shit, they'd fight with guitars. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a guitar. And then after realizing that I probably can't hit people with this, I was like, okay, I guess I'll learn how to play it.
Yeah.
So, and like through the whole like series, the first series, there's only like 6 episodes. The Pillows, the band I was talking about earlier.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they kind of did the whole soundtrack. And
Oh,
it's,
wow.
Like the show is one thing, but the soundtrack is what really kind of carries it, like the whole
Yeah.
vibe. And like they're kind of like, they're honestly, they remind me a lot of like Weezer.
Okay.
You know, it's like thick, heavy, almost like drony guitars, but it's also very melodic.
Yeah.
You know, so like I remember I watched this video and they were talking about how J-rock, Japanese rock, kind of functions and how it's different from like American rock, and you know, a lot of our music kind of is based around 4 chords, where theirs is kind of, I'm probably going to be explaining this a lot worse, so I hope nobody crucifies me. There's this kind of more on like movements, and I think like the song that I can best describe it as is like Hotel California.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Interesting.
So you start with like the A, and then it goes to the E, and then, you know, it kind of goes into like this big circle of, and that's how a lot of their music works, and I think that kind of attracted me to that. And
Yeah. So
definitely-
they're a Japanese band? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
yeah. They sadly just broke up.
Oh, no.
But they put their work in. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, good for them. I'm sad I'll never get to see them. Like, the one time that they were here, a bunch of my friends went and didn't tell me. But
Should we
is what it
dox
is.
them right now?
yeah. It's okay.
Well, maybe there will be a reunion tour.
Yeah, well, maybe, possibly. I kind of hope not, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just for,
I
like,
do.
their sake.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah. Just let the
Let
glory
it be.
remain.
Like, you
Yeah.
did your thing. You influenced a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, because that show has a big cult following.
Yeah.
You know, like-
Well, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's really interesting what you said about like the flow of the show, because it sounds a lot like your music to me. Like it's very like kind of hyper, and there's a lot going on, but there's like an underlying, it is very melodic at the same time.
Yeah.
And it seems like you do sing a lot about growth and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like a more personal journey
Yeah.
than an external one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And is that what Pillows, is that their approach as well?
I have no idea what they're writing about.
Oh,
it's
because
all
it's in Japanese.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, and I was kind of like, because I had no idea what you were gonna ask me here.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking about like what I would say about my music, and like, yeah, you're right. That's kind of what it is. There is a lot going on, but in a way, I feel like it's saying like the same thing. Because I like to write like a lot of intricate melodic parts on guitar. And then lyrically, I like to write about basically like my growth,
Yeah.
you know, and I think a lot of the things that I write about, they're about how I all the things that I like that are like my personal traumas in life, and like how I've learned to kind of cope with them, which is like funny because I feel like, you know, you can only use coping mechanisms for so long before they become outdated and become a little toxic. So I think at this point, I'm probably writing about the last 25 years of my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, how I've kind of digested that. And those are kind of like the vibes of my lyrics because, like, even though I might be like screaming or whatever, it's nothing too like intricate, like vocally. So it's kind of like mellow. And then like you have my guitar parts that are like intricate and like loud and in your face and like kind of on the gas pedal at all times.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and so, but I think that's kind of what it or my life is. It's like go, 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 but also like at the same time, there's like an underlying hum that's like keeping it all together. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you struggle at all with the vulnerability of writing lyrics that are so personal?
I used to, but like I don't. I don't. I guess I don't like really. See, what am I trying to say? I feel like I used to really care about what people thought about me, and like I was always like out and around people that I would care, like what they would have to think. But like I'm definitely a lot more sheltered now. Like mainly the only times I go out, it's like when I'm gigging.
Yeah.
So kind of having that separation between like life and like my music.
Yeah, I
It
totally
makes it a lot
understand
easier
that.
to kind of be in that vulnerable spot. Yeah.
And I read somewhere where you described your Howling at the Earth, I think specifically, as like a journal of life.
Yeah.
Which I thought was such a cool way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, you know, kind of like I've always been kind of like the fly on the wall, but also not.
Yeah.
Where like when people would ask me like, oh, what do you think? And that I don't shut up. Doesn't mean they're gonna like follow my advice or anything, but like, yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. You know, like Wayne Snow's Guide to Living Life.
Hell yeah, I love that. I would read that book. I guess I can just listen to your music though.
Yeah, essentially.
And do you identify mostly as a guitar player, a singer, a songwriter? What do
I
you
don't
think
even
really speaks
know,
to you?
dude. You know, because like I was a choir boy.
Oh, really?
I'm like, yeah.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
like chamber choir.
Hell yeah,
like,
that's
and
so
singing
cool.
in Latin and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So like,
That's impressive. That's why you got that range.
oh yeah, 10. So like, I never have taken any like vocal lessons. Like I'd love to at this point, but
Wow.
I think having like that know-how of like how to sing or like what it should sound like, and like just like treating your voice like an instrument, and you know, like when you bend the note on a guitar and it changes pitch, and like it's the same thing as when you like kind of shape the way of your mouth. And then I got really into guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I think it was like my first year of college. I was like, you know what? You're not the best guitar player, but you're more okay than most. And you're not like the best singer, but you know what you're doing. So like just combine the two.
Yeah.
You know? So
There you go.
they're kind of the same thing to me. I don't know. I don't know if I
That's
would
so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always impressed when I see you live how you can play lead and sing at the same time. Because that,
disassociate.
oh my God. It seems like it just, I don't know how you do it.
It's just muscle memory. You know?
I guess,
You know, you just
maybe.
do it a lot. you know?
Yeah.
It's funny because like I think now at this point, like there's certain like movements that like won't take me long to kind of sing over, but the one song that like took me forever to learn and sing over was like Landon Pigg's "Falling in Love in a Coffee Shop." You know that song? It's like, I think that possibly maybe I'm falling for you. Yeah, but
Oh,
I don't know,
I think
like,
I've maybe actually heard you play that.
probably I've been
Yeah.
playing it a lot lately. Is that guitar in tune?
I'm not sure.
No,
I think it's missing a string.
that's fair. As long as it has like the top one and the bottom one, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
not
I'll talk about it
sure.
later. But it's like, I guess just because like I don't have like finger picking chops really. It's all like in my left hand, but like trying to like navigate like I guess like having your thumb going and like anyways, what I'm trying to say is like learning that song took me like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which was insane. Like, you know, so there's just like, you know, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so I think I'm kind of going on a tangent now.
No, you're good.
But I feel like I saw this post in like this like thread, and they were talking about the lead singer of Coheed and Cambria because he plays a lot of like intricate guitar parts, and they were like, is he like considered a really good guitar player because he can do that? And I was like, well, it depends because you know I can play parts that he does and like sing over them like no problem. But then, like, that stupid Land and Pig song took me, like, 4 weeks to learn, you know? And they're just, like, completely different, like, skill sets.
I know. It's so hard to define, like, what makes a good guitar player.
Yeah.
Or good musician in general.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I like a bunch of different guitar players for a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to say, like, who's good or who's better or... You know?
Yeah, right. No, I get that completely. And you can learn from, like, everyone. I mean, I feel like I learned the most about playing guitar from 2 people. One is Phillips, of course.
Yes,
Strummer
our
Ballads.
good friend Phillips.
Yeah. And then Kenny Eaton over from Mystery Ton Studios.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of that guy. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him.
He's amazing. He's great.
Yeah.
But that's where my first band recorded our record, and he put us through the ringer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's when I realized, holy crap, I suck at guitar.
Oh, gosh. I know the process of actually recording yourself. It's brutal.
Wow, yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, so it made me think about playing guitar and, like, you know, the actual technique of guitar and what makes a good guitar player. Yeah, there's a lot to that.
And what do you think that is? What do you think makes a good guitar player? Or what do you strive for, at least, to excel at as a guitarist?
Me personally? Man, I just, like, I hope that I can keep innovating. You know? Like, I think I've learned different things from, like, being really into different bands, you know, because if you listen to Coheed and then you listen to like Weezer and then you listen to like Tiny Moving Parts, they're all doing something very different.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
But it's like there's something about those 3 elements that like it just like itches my brain in the way that I like. So
It moves you.
yeah, so I guess I hope that I can keep creating something different, you know, seeing things in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. You're doing it. Well, speaking about your influences, y'all just posted a cover of Fall Out Boy.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
How did that come about? What inspired that?
I mean, I feel like love him or hate him now, like, you know, I feel like
it's a great song.
it is a great song, and I feel like it was like
Sugar We're Going Down is the song.
yeah, I feel like that song specifically for me and like many other people like our age, just like if you're into like emo music or like pop punk, that was like your wake up call.
Yeah.
You know? There were just so many things about it, from like the band's attitude and like that music video and like the song in itself that makes it so iconic.
I mean, it's a banger.
And
certified banger.
You know, you have like a bunch of bands out now that have like started using like more like soul vocals and like pop punk.
Yeah.
And I really feel like, you know, Patrick Stump kind of started that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's the first one to do it because I'm sure that's not true, but he definitely, for me personally, in terms of like combining the 2 genres of music, you know, kind of started that. So,
no, I loved that you covered that.
yeah. So vocally, like his vocals are definitely a big influence to me too.
Yeah. And the dynamics of that song are really cool. I
Yeah.
think it fits well with Howling at the Earth. So tell me a little bit I don't think, well, actually, I guess I did meet you before Howling at the Earth days.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about it. So tell me a little bit about your musical trajectory just with bands and gigging, and how it came to be the current lineup of Howling at the Earth.
Oh, geez. So the first band I was ever in was a band called A Run From Reality in high school.
You have the best band names, can I just say?
Shower thoughts. And that was a buddy of mine that I met at a skate park, and he was always like, come drum or come play at my house. And I was like, okay. And one day I just went. And at that point, I knew nothing about really writing songs. And like, I was more of like a chord player, you know, so I couldn't really do much, but it was a good like introduction to how like band life works. And then me and him started playing at this restaurant in downtown Charlestown called the Mediterranean. And like I've been playing there ever since, pretty regularly.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how like I managed to, you know, keep playing. You know, like I had a gig like every week.
Oh,
Like
awesome.
2 to 5 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, and then it just kept expanding and expanding and expanding. And, you know, then I went to college, and I have a buddy named Nathan Howard. He was also a phenomenal musician, great songwriter. And we always like kind of sang together, and he's also a drummer. And then we met this other dude named Alex Chanholzer. He would come to Blue Moon open mics, and he's a pretty phenomenal bass player. So we kind of just started this group. Oh yeah, I was in this other band that I started called Bound by Vines.
Another great band name.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the drummer who is drumming for us now. His name's Alvino Kidweiler. It was me, him, and another guy named Milo Levine. And so, you know, we bands come and go and kind of just fade out. And like we were kind of going toward the end of Bound by Vines. And, you know, we just kind of started jamming together, and like we wrote a song that we really liked day one, and then like we just kept writing songs that were really good, to us. And yeah, so we did that for a while. And the bass player Alex, he was another huge Coheed fan, so a lot of our songs are really Coheed influenced.
Nice.
Yeah, and then you know that kind of faded out too. It was a sick record though.
I mean, not a lot of people could say that.
Yeah, and
That's
I
a big
kind of
accomplishment.
sat on the name Howling at the Earth for a while.
I love that name.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And you know that was kind of like a slow burn, and it wasn't until like 2020 where we had a lot of time inside that I really started to flesh out the music in that. And it is what it is now.
Nice. Yeah, because your first releases, Howling at the Earth, is
Yeah.
just you, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's all from me sitting in my bedroom at the time,
Yeah.
hammering out songs, thinking I'm never gonna play these live, so let's make them as hard as possible to play. Yeah. So.
And you also duo sometimes with your partner Mackenzie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's a sound engineer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I think she really wanted to be on the other side of things.
Yeah, that's so
and
cool.
she has a great voice.
She
So,
does. Yeah.
You know, we got to do a few gigs together in Ocean City.
Oh
was
right,
nice.
I remember that.
Yeah, right. And that was cool. So yeah, we sing together sometimes. I think we're gonna try to record some stuff together at some point.
Oh, that's
but,
so awesome.
yeah, I made the mistake of saying I was gonna put out a record, and then that there's actually a story with it too. So. Yeah, I got a lot of things in my mind.
There's it's a concept album.
Yeah. So
Oh, cool.
yeah. So that's like kind of what Coheed does.
Yeah.
Like all their songs are based off a concept, and so that's really what this record's gonna. The one I'm putting out. So all these singles are kind of just like a waterfall of a record, and Howling at the Earth is going to be a conceptual story.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so if you look at some of the art, those are actually like, it's a part of the story.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the art, and it's funny that you brought up the influence of anime on your music because it's like very anime influence.
Very colorful, very this and that.
Yeah.
It can't not be.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So can you give us a little bit of a teaser, or do you want to just keep it totally, which is completely fine?
It's still very much in like the writing process in terms of the story. Yeah. There's like I have like kind of a chapter down conceptually, as in I wrote down like storyboards, but each storyboard
so
it's
cool.
like a paragraph long.
Yeah.
Like bullet points. But nothing's like set in stone, you know. I have the songs like loosely like involved in the story. So I'm trying to figure out how to really connect the two.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so like I guess where I am in the record, it's like I know what I want that to be about, but there's not quite like an origin yet.
Yeah, you want to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, so I'm filling in
Yeah.
the gaps. But yeah, so if you look at the art, it means something. There's a lot there. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, but you don't have to say any more.
Yeah.
Do you create the art too?
God, no.
Okay.
Oh, God, no. I can barely write my name. No.
You're still drawing stick figures.
I tried to get into like animation like over the summer, and like it's fun to do like spatially. I get it, but like when it comes to actually drawing the figures, no. So
Yeah.
I actually met this artist on TikTok. Their handle is Call Me Maeve, CALL period me period MAEVIE, I want to say. And they're super talented. They're based out of Washington. So, and they get my vision.
Nice.
Yeah, and their art's amazing. So.
That's such a cool creative partnership.
Yeah. It's like, you know, I say something and they're like, yeah, I got it, get it. And then they create something amazing. And yeah, so it's been a good, like, cohabitation.
Nice. And your latest release was Avalanche, right? Oh, well, I guess the Fall Out Boy cover.
Yeah, technically
but-
that was. But
yeah.
before that, I want to say I released a song called Drifted, which is actually going to be the title, the album title
cool.
name. So I actually wrote that song like years ago. I want to say like 6 years ago. And I kind of released it before on a record that I've been trying to hide from the public. But I listened to the old version and I was like, I think I can actually do this justice. So, and that's kind of that song is definitely more influenced by like the Pillow Weezer side of me.
Yeah.
Where it's definitely more like droney and like slow, and you know, it's cool to be able to kind of like mix genres and like not have a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
You know, so that's more of like a vibe song than it is like an intricate song.
Yeah. I love a vibe song.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what's your favorite thing that you've written? What are you most proud of that we can all go listen to?
Oh, it's probably Avalanche.
Yeah.
that
Well,
one's
that one
fun.
had a lot of plays on Spotify, I saw.
Yeah. And also that's the one I've like, you know, put out the people the most.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. But it also seems to be the one that everyone really likes.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's a fun one to play too. Yeah, you can really kind of get into it. Well, I get into it.
I'm a Seed fan,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. See, it's fun. I also wrote that song probably like 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's another one that I released and like have been trying to hide and then
Yeah.
brought back.
What inspires that? What makes you think like, oh, actually, maybe this is good and maybe I should play it?
In terms of like bringing songs back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like, sometimes you just want to revisit things.
Yeah.
You know, especially since, like, when I first recorded those songs, I didn't know anything about recording. and like, or really bringing out the vision that I really wanted. And you know, sometimes you get in there and you don't know what you're gonna find or how things are gonna go. And it went in a completely different direction than how I've been playing it the past 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
To see the process.
it's like that's like my weird like The Cure
Yeah.
kind of like Three Cheers for Revenge, like My Chemical Romance song. Yeah,
It's a good one.
Yeah.
What's it like singing lyrics you wrote as Wayne 10 years ago?
I'm glad you asked that. You know, because I feel like every time I listen, you know, it's like going back in a journal entry, and you think that something meant something at some point, and then like 10 years later, it means something completely different.
Yeah,
from
isn't
you.
it so interesting?
Yeah, you know, so clearly it sounds like a breakup song, but now it feels like a self-worth song, you know? And I think not just for like romantic relationships, but like all relationships, even like relationships with yourself, is like, are you going to show up for yourself when the time matters? You know, and like kind of having that breakup point, or not breakup point, that I lost the word, but having that point of realization that you're ready to break a cycle.
Yeah.
Whether that's like, you know, with the job or people or whatever. Yeah.
Habit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it used to be sad and now it's empowering. It's kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote it when I was like 20. So,
yeah.
I don't even say
You're like, I was
sad.
dumb.
It was angsty.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of angst.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good though. And I feel like you can bring a different tone to it now that
Yeah.
you can see it from a different perspective,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
It takes on a new
And
form.
So in the story, I'm like, this probably may or may not happen, but my idea now was just kind of make it like a split personality type thing of like, you know, are you gonna let me take over to do what needs to be done type of thing?
Yeah.
So, maybe, potentially, allegedly.
It's word on the street.
Word on the street
Yeah.
day in my brain, which changes every 2 seconds. So we'll see.
Great. Well, do you want to just tell us, to close us out, a little bit about what you have in store for your April 4th release
Yeah.
and where we can catch you live in the next few
Oof,
weeks?
Great. Yeah. So I'm gonna be releasing a song on April 4th called "The Alchemist."
Another great name.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Yeah. So another song I started writing like 2 years ago that I just, you know, I remember we talked about this once. When you start writing a song, and then you coined this term, and I've been saying it nonstop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
What's the
when you
term?
get a little bit of demoitus, when like I started writing the song, and I think I had about a verse down up into a chorus, and I just loved that verse and that chorus so much. I was like, I can't write anymore.
I know,
because
yeah.
it's just gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited about another song that it completely changed from when I originally wrote it. But I think it came out pretty sick. Like I like it a lot. I think it's gonna be a song. It's a song about me talking to my past self. You know, I think there's
Oh, wow.
aspects of my past self that I miss, and I feel like there are aspects that my past self would love about me now. And so it's kind of like that duality.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's gonna be on all streaming services, especially Spotify and Apple Music and Bandcamp and yada yada blah blah blah.
It's where you wink at the camera.
Which one? There's like there's three
Oh,
of them.
yeah. That one.
Oh, that one. I remember I used to like practice like playing guitar and like winking for shows.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was like in high
Blowing
school.
kisses. Well, see, it came in handy.
Yeah, right. Like 25 years later. That's funny.
And upcoming gigs?
Oh yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head?
No.
No, you're a full-time musician, so it's just like constant.
well, you can see all of my gigs on my website, which is on Instagram at howlingearthmusic.com, and it's the same schedule I use. So if it's not on there, I'm not even showing up. So yeah,
So don't go.
Yeah, it's always updated. So yeah, it's like a Google Calendar. Yeah. So and yeah, we have shows every week. Got a lot of band shows coming up this summer. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Awesome. Well, anything else you want to tell to the people?
Everything's gonna be okay.
That's a good.
Life is crazy right now.
Yes.
Everything's gonna be okay. Yeah.
I like that. Well, Wayne, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You are our
this
first
is cool.
guest.
Yeah.
My
Wow.
first guest.
Oh,
yeah. We're over here at Rocksteady Sound Studio in Frederick, Maryland.
Sick. This is really a sick room. I hope you guys can do like a video tour at some point.
Yeah. We will also be posting Wayne doing a acoustic performance of a few of his songs, so definitely keep an eye out for that as well. And yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming out, Wayne.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Good night, y'all.
Toodles.
Toodles. Yay.